Hello dear students, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. Hope you all are fit and healthy at your home. I am Sandhya Patel, your class 8 science teacher from St. Mary High School. As we know, we have already started our chapter number 4 of class 8 science, that is materials, matters and non-matters. So let's quickly revise what we have done in our previous class. We have discussed that what are materials. I have told you that what does the material means. I have told you that materials are the matter or substance that objects are made from, right? And I have told you that materials are something that have some mass and occupy some space are known as materials. Then we have also discussed some examples of the materials like metal, plastic, wood, glass, ceramic, synthetic fiber, composites, right? So these are the example of some material. After that, we have discussed the types of material. Basically, there are two types of material, which are they? Matters and non-matters. Now, what is matter? So let's see that matters are minerals or substances that form naturally below the surface of the earth. From where we are getting this matter? Matters are basically they are minerals or substances that are being formed naturally and they are obtained from the surface of the below the surface of the earth. Most matters are lustrous or shiny. Matters are inorganic, which means they are made of substances that were never alive. Means that matters are lustrous, right? We all know that matters are luster, or we can say they are shiny. They are inorganic and they are made of the substances that are being formed, that are being found under or below the earth. Then non-matters. What are non-matters? Non-metal is a chemical element that mostly lacks the characteristic of a metal. Means non-metals are those chemical elements in which they are not having the similar characteristic what metal possess. So they are different from the metals. Non-metals can be gases, liquids or solid. Non-metals are dull in color, not shining like metals. So non-metals can be in any form. Either it can be in gaseous form, it can be in liquid form, or it can be in solid form. They are basically dull in color and they are not as shiny as the metals. After that, we have discussed the properties. Which were the physical properties? Physical property means we know it basically talk about the physical features of physical properties the particular material is containing. We discuss malleability. So what was malleability? The property by which the material can be beaten into sheets is called malleability. Right? It is a particular property of any material due to which if we beat that material, it can be easily converted into a thin sheet. So this property is known as malleability. Then second was ductility. The property of material by which it can be drawn into wire is called ductility. It is a property of material through which the material can easily be converted into wires. So this property, this material, so the material which possesses this property, they can be said as they are possessing ductility. After that, third was sonorous. Material produce ringing sounds, they are said to be sonorous. So whichever material is there, if it produces a ringing sound, then we can say that it possesses sonorous property. And the last was good conductors of heat and electricity. So the material which can easily pass the heat and electricity are called as good conductor of heat and electricity. After that, we have discussed the physical properties of both the metal as well as non-metals. So physical properties of metals are they are shiny and lustrous, they are hard, they are malleable, they are ductile, they are sonorous, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. The few examples of metal are iron, copper, aluminum, calcium, magnesium, etc. So these are the properties of physical properties of metal, and these are the examples. Then we have also discussed non-metals. They are dull, they are soft, they are non-malleable, they are non-ductile, they are non-sonorous, they are bad conductors, or you can say poor conductors of heat and electricity. The examples of non-metals are sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, etc. So these are the few physical properties. So these are the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now we are going to discuss there are some exceptions in the physical properties in both metals and non-metals. So let's see which are the few exceptions. So first let's see metals. Alkaline metals, that is sodium, potassium, lithium, can be cut using a knife. Now we have seen that one of the property of metal is that it is very hard. So we cannot easily cut that material or that metal with the help of knife. But there is an exception. There are some metals known as alkaline metals can be easily cut by using a knife. The second is mercury is a liquid metal. You must have all seen mercury. In thermometers, mercury is being used, right? So mercury is basically a liquid metal, but we have studied that it is in solid form, but this is an exception. After that, lead and mercury are poor conductors of heat. Lead and mercury both are the metal, but they are poor conductors of heat. Mercury expands significantly for the slightest change in temperature. As soon as there is a slight change in the temperature, what happens? The mercury expands. Gallium and cesium have a very low melting point. As we know, metal is very hard, so its melting point would be larger or higher. But there are two metals, they are gallium and cesium. They are having very low melting point. So these were some exceptions in the physical properties of certain metals. Now let's see for non-metals. Iodine is non-metal, but it has luster. So what we have studied that non-metal is dull, right? But here is an exception. Iodine is also a non-metal, but it has luster. Then graphite conducts electricity. So there is a non-metal called graphite and it conducts electricity. So we can say that it is a good conductor of electricity. But what we have studied in physical properties of non-metals, we have studied that it is a bad conductor or poor conductor of electricity. But graphite is a non-metal, still it is a good conductor of electricity. So this is an exception. Diamond conducts heat and has a very high melting point. So diamond is again a non-metal, but it still conducts heat and it also has a very high melting point. So this was some exception in physical properties in metals and non-metals. I hope this thing is clear. Now let's see next, that is chemical properties of metals and non-metals. What are the chemical properties of metals and non-metals? So first is reaction with oxygen. Now let's see how the metal and non-metal react with oxygen. So first, both metals and non-metals when burnt in oxygen form their oxides. What happens? Whenever the metals and non-metals, when it is burned with oxygen, they form their oxides. The first reaction of metal with oxygen. Example, reaction A. Now let's see, when a metal reacts with oxygen, what happens? We have just read that it will form that oxide. So see, 2Mg, that is magnesium, when react with oxygen, it produces 2MgO, that is magnesium oxide. So this is how the metal is reacting with oxygen and producing the particular oxide. The second is how reaction of non-metals with oxygen. The second is reaction of non-metal with oxygen. Example, reaction B, that is sulfur when react with oxygen it produces sulfur dioxide. So this is how the reaction of metals and non-metals happens. Always remember, whenever the metal and non-metal burn with oxygen, they will form their respective oxides. Oxides of metal are basic in nature. They turn red litmus paper to blue. So the oxides which are formed when the reaction of metal and oxygen occurs, they are basic in nature. What they will do? They will turn the red litmus paper to blue. We know whenever the given solution is basic in nature, it will convert the red litmus paper. It will turn the red litmus paper to the blue. So this was the chemical property of the metal, that is the oxide form is basic in nature. See, this is a reaction. Fe, that is iron, when react with oxygen and water, it produces ferric oxide. Magnesium plus oxygen will give magnesium oxide. So this is the reaction of metal with oxygen. Now let's see for non-metals. Oxides of non-metals are generally acidic in nature. They turn blue litmus paper to red and sulfur dioxide. So the oxide of non-metals are generally acidic in nature. They are acetic. So what they will do? They will turn the blue litmus paper to the red. So here given the reaction. So here given the reaction, that is sulfur dioxide when react with water, it will form sulfurous acid, or you can say sulfuric acid. And we all know that sulfuric acid is acidic in nature. So this was the so this is what happens when metals and non-metals will react with oxygen. When metal react with oxygen, it will form oxide which is basic in nature, while when non-metal react with oxygen, it will form oxide which is acidic in nature. So I hope this thing are clear to you all. In our next class, we are going to see further chemical properties, and for today this much only. So thank you so much.